Oh, hey, son, I'm back from my trip.
Oh, hey there, Dad. Welcome back.
Hey, how about we go on a trip to the capital?
Wow, Dad, that sounds really fun. Let's get going.
Follow me, son, follow me.
Hey, Dad, I really need to go to the bathroom. I really need to go.
Don't worry, son. We're almost to the capital. Look, it's right over there.
Okay, I can hold it, but let's get going.
Okay, here we are. Come this way. Okay, we're right here. Here's our room. Come quick, kid. We gotta go use the bathroom. Mister, you're not allowed in here. Oh, shoot. Kid, come on. Come on over here. We gotta go use the bathroom. Here's our room. Oh, what a lovely place.
Dad, I really gotta go. I really gotta go.
Let's see where the toilet is in this room. There's no toilet! No, there's no toilet. No. How am I supposed to survive here? No. As you could see, my one and only son died from the lack of a bathroom. So did this man. Totally. That's how he died. Even though their loss was very sad, it brought up a very good question. Could Leyndell, the one and only capital, actually function as a city? Now, because Elden Ring is a medieval game, I will be looking at it more like a actual medieval city, not like a real world city, because those are totally two different things. However, I will be going off of what Google says a medieval city needs to have to survive. So that is what we will be doing today. We will be seeing if Leyndell could function like an actual medieval city. By the way, if you don't like and subscribe and join the Discord, you'll end up like this guy. So the first question really is, what does a medieval city need to survive? Well, like you could see from that small little skit, it needs toilets. I mean, how are the people going to survive if they can't poop? And that isn't even a joke. If they have no place to poop, they will poop on the ground. And that is kind of disgusting. And because it's disgusting, it's unsanitary. And because it's unsanitary, there are diseases. And diseases are not very good. As you can see from the Black Plague. That was one of the biggest ones. And yeah, quite a few people died. But that is only one of the things that a city needs to survive. And we will be getting into all of them. So, without further ado, let us begin. Alright, so I will put up onto the screen right now what Google says a medieval city needs. Now, there is one more thing that I would like to add to that, which is, well, a place for religion, either a church or like a citadel or something like that. Because the royal capital is right next to the Erd Tree. So I'm pretty sure most people here would believe in the greater will, or whatever they want to call it. So other than that, we will be going strictly off of what Google says. Oh, and also, it doesn't even mention housing, but you definitely need housing for a city. So, two added things to this. And anyways, yeah, let's just start with the first one, which is a reliable supply of food and water. Now, how does a medieval city get food and water? Because cities, they're not very green. They can't really grow much of anything. Well, they have to get it from outside of the city, like a farm or a bigger farm. Well, let's see what's around this capital. Um, well, nothing. Well, basically nothing. There is only one place that I have found that is an actual sort of reliable food source, at least when this city was booming. Because right now, it is kind of dead. Now, what is this spot that I'm talking about? Most of you probably don't remember any big old farm. Well, there's actually one. Or three. Roughly. Four. Something like that. Which is the Windmill Village. Now, as you're looking around the village, and this isn't even the biggest part, there really is not much farm that you can see. It's mainly just forest. However, maybe the forest grew after there was already a farm. Because it's a pretty flat plain over here, other than the trees. Now, I'm no expert on land or how to see if there was something here before, but the reason why I'm saying there might have been is because windmills. What do windmills do? Well, they would actually crush grain into a sort of flour or powder of sorts, and that's how you get bread. And bread is food. So the fact that there are windmills really proves that there was a way to get food. And there are also some pens in the bigger village. Not only are there these windmills, but there are also workers for these windmills and housing for them. Like these interesting dancing ladies. So that kind of just proves my point that there used to be a farm here. However, there is not a farm here anymore, but we will not be looking at that, because if we just looked at what is out in front of our face currently, yeah, this city is not surviving. So we already have a pretty reliable source of food, I would say, especially if you look on the map. This Windmill Village has a very direct road into the capital. So that is a very good source of food. Now, just a reminder, we did not see any farm, and I explained that it could have been here. But in reality, the actual Elden Ring map that you play on is not the lore-accurate map. Like, from the capital down to Liurnia, that probably would take you, like, 15 minutes, roughly, if you start at the edge of Liurnia. Well, in Elden Ring lore, that is not the correct map size. Now, I do not know the correct map size. I'm sure not a lot of people do, and it doesn't specifically tell you. But as we can see, we are playing in a very much downscaled version of this world. But the fact that there are windmills there really proves that there was a food source. And there would almost have to be a food source, or else people would not survive. Now, I also do not know how reliable the food source could have been, but it seems to be doing pretty good, just because of how big the city has become. So, let's look at the water next, because if you eat all that food, you're gonna get thirsty, and you need to quench your thirst. So what's a better way than plain old water? Well, there do not seem to be many rivers, really. The only place of water is Liurnia. And that's really far away. So how do they get all of their... Well, that's quite a bit of water. Let's go down and look at that. Well, yeah. That is quite a bit of water. So, how did this water even get here? Because this does not look very natural. Well, if you didn't notice, and this map is not fully complete, but there is an ocean pretty close to this capital. And, I really should get all this map. But if you look up there, I'll probably show you a better view sometime. But if you remember, the mountaintop of the Giants is extremely close to the capital. You can even see it from where I stand currently. What does mountaintop... Now, what does a mountain do? Well, it has snow. And snow, it melts. And where does all that water go? Into the ground. Now, the mountain's pretty high. And water, it likes to sink. So where else would it go than to a river? Now, I might be wrong, but that seems to be the reason why there is a pretty big body of water here. Now, you might have also noticed that there's quite a bit of water here as well, which is inside the walls. Now, how that got there, I have no idea. We can actually get a pretty decent view from up here. All down there is just water. But, this is the main gate, if you couldn't notice. This thing right here. So why is there a whole bunch of water in the actual capital? Well, my theory is that used to just be more houses. And they flooded it when they were under siege. I don't know how they got the water higher than the river, but they somehow did, and it seems to have worked pretty decently. So I won't really question it. So far, this city is doing pretty good. They got food, and they got water. What more do you need? Well, you need building materials. Because even if we're looking at the city when it was in its peak, which would be after it was fully built, well, they would still need materials. Because what if this statue breaks, which it already did? How are they going to repair that if they have no stone? What if a support beam breaks? How are they going to repair that without wood? So the next thing that we need to look at is if they have any supplies or a place to get supplies from. And right away, to just knock off wood, they do. They have this forest here. But remember when I was talking about the food thing and how it could have been here? However, if there was originally a forest here, then there could be no farm there. But no worries, because if they go down south, we have Liurnia. Now hold on a minute. Liurnia is completely flooded. Well, at the peak of the capital, this place was not flooded. This place had plenty of trees, as we can see from going there. There's a whole bunch of stumps everywhere. And there are also some other trees near the high ground. And there's a whole lot of them. So they still have a source of wood. Now, what about stone? Oh. Well, I think I found where they got their stone from. Remember Mountaintop of the Giants? Where they get their water from? Well, I think there's enough stone up there for them to definitely get stone from that as well. So I think they're doing just fine on those supplies. Now, where would they even keep them? Well, there are some storehouses already still in this capital, but there probably were quite a few of them in the lower part where it is now flooded. So now that we have food, water, wood, and stone all found and all very reliable, there is really only a few things left, which the main one is toilets. So here we are at the sort of housing district, you could say. These are definitely also the bigger houses that you can own. So let's go check out some houses and see if they got any toilets inside. Well, that man looks like he needs to use the bathroom. Oh, he's a little bit angry as well. Ah, yes, here we are. This is someone's nice little home. Is that this man's? Well, it's mine now. So let's have a look inside. Well, there is a few people looking like they definitely need to use the bathroom in here. Nothing too much on this floor. Let's move up and see if there's anything up here. This looks like a sort of office place, but still no place to do your business. This seems to be the top floor, maybe a sort of living room where you would have friends over, but ooh, this man looks like he didn't make it in time to the bathroom. Poor man. Now that all could have been avoided if there was some disposal of waste area. But it seems like all these houses are sort of lacking that sort of area. Isn't that right, sir? Sir, you don't need to destroy your own house to prove your point. I'm getting out of here. Oh boy, he's following me. But I think even just that house proved my point. That, there is not a lot of bathrooms in these places. And a lot of these houses are even glued off, so you can't even see inside. But that one had nothing. And now here we are in the round table. This is a place that a lot of high priority people would meet. So they better have some sort of bathroom here. Like, what if you're running late, need to get here as fast as possible, forgot to use the bathroom on the way, and now you're here for a meeting. After the meeting, you really gotta go. But where are you gonna go? No bathroom in here. This is a kitchen. Nothing. This is a food preparation area. Nothing. Okay, mister, I know you're angry, but just leave me alone. Over there is nothing. Nothing in there. And up there is only the meeting area, which is just the same as the round hole table that you see all the time. So there is no bathrooms in one of the most important places. So where does everyone use the bathroom? Because they have to have a spot to use the bathroom, or else they all would have just end up like this man, sitting on the ground, dying, because he needs a spot to poop. Well, luckily for him, there is a single spot that you could use the bathroom. So let's just go have a little look-see at it. Ah, yes, here it is. The amazing toilet. Or, well, whatever one you want to call it. You could just, you know, have a little plop down here. And, you know, do your stuff. Buddy, can you not hit me into there? Oh, no. Well, I ended up in the waste. And, it seems like this is also a jail. Pretty nice place in here. So yeah. There are sewers, but there are no toilets. So if you want to do your stuff, I guess you have to go to the sewers themselves, which don't really have sewage. So I guess you get the idea. It's a little bit mean to the citizens who live here. But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? So yeah, I don't think this really counts as a waste disposal spot. Because in order to dispose of your waste, you must go to the exact spot that is meant for disposing. Now, even though that there is no sewage disposal, that doesn't mean that the city is in total ruins. Unless you look at it in present day. So what else does the city need? Well, I mentioned the religion, so they need a church. And here is actually a church. Very small one. But this is at the lower level. And then there's also a higher level sort of church thing, is what I would call it. It's kind of, you kind of have to go through it to actually get into the capital from the sideway. But I'll still count it as a church. So there's definitely a place to worship the big old tree up there. And then other than that, there's only a few more things, which is walls, which the city has actually 2 layers, and a thriving market, which I am sure the city had. It has the residential area up here, then it has the lower residential area over here. And there could have been a market along this road, but down in the flooded area, I'm sure that there was something. Now, I don't know where, if it mentions that at all, but we already see merchants in the world when it's this decayed. So there was definitely a merchant group. And actually, if you go down into the depths of the depths, right under this very capital, there is about 100 dead merchants down there. So there were definitely traders going in and out of this place. And I won't get into the whole government thing of this place, because that is a lot more lore than I have the right to try and explain when I do not know it myself. So, honestly, this capital is very well done, and you could actually survive here, unless you need to use the bathroom. In which case, you can go and see yourself right into the sewers themselves. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. And if you don't, then you will have to use the bathroom in your city's sewers.